Okay, welcome everyone. We'll start our lesson 4. In this lesson, we'll go through LO4, understand areas of law affecting businesses or business and professional operations. So today lesson we'll go through LO4, and last lesson we discuss about professional ethics. So what we know about employment law? Do we know about employment law? Do we know GDPR? And do we know intellectual properties? Let's please 1 to 10. How much we know?
About 6.
Okay, good.
I don't know much about employment law.
Okay, that's basically the employment laws, different legislation can be. Okay, 5, Rajab, that's fine. Thank you. Which is fine. Fair enough. Okay, so today we have 3 assessment criteria, fourth assessment criteria for merit, and analyze the requirement of data protection legislation. We need to intellectual property rights, how we can protect and assess the impact of legislation relating employment, and assess the importance of intellectual property rights to businesses. That's we need to. Okay, so first thing is the data GDPR. Do we know old law? What is the old was? It's a new is a GDP. Which year was? Do we know which year was GDPR? All we got the training GDPR? 2018. Yes, good. And old was, do we know the Data Protection Act? Which year was that?
No.
DPA, Data Protection Act. Yes, 1998.
Yeah, 19.
7 principles. There used to be 8 principles. Sorry. Now we have 7 principles. Okay, because now is lot of things happen due to the electronic data, and that's why the new Data Protection Act, which is GDPR, General Data Protection Regulation, when this law came in force, and you maybe receive number of email, you have to accept cookies, you have to give your consent, we are holding your data, and if we don't heard, we'll delete your data, and this and that. And that's that is a crucial. And as an accountant in accounting field, of course we are dealing with the data, and we have to follow these, and we have a professional code of ethics, PPCIO, which we discuss professional behavior, professional competency, due care, confidentiality is one of our ethics as well, integrity and objectivity, and there's the legislation as well, so we need to be followed in both ways. So personal data is defined any information about living individual who is capable of identifying the individual. So any information. Can we take the information outside EU? Let's say you want to be set up the call center abroad, and you want to call your old clients. Can we? What do you think? What will be processed then? Anyone? Yes, we can't transfer the data abroad without getting the permission from ICO. Do we know what is the ICO? Information Commission Office. Information Commission Office, which is ICO. We have to inform. So then we can move abroad outside EU. Within EU is no problem. Sensitive data. Define any information relating to individual, ethnicity, origin, political opinion, religious belief, trade union membership, physical or mental health issue. That's the sensitive data. We're not supposed to be shared. Yes, under the GDPR, sensitive data is referred to the special characteristic under the Data Protection Act. So that's we need to be always look around as well. So we have to follow these, and because of course if we are holding the data, the law apply to us as well. Okay, Data Protection Act is about the avoiding harm to individual. We can't really sell their information, their credit card, debit card, like BT call center move abroad, and good few years back, and it was in Panorama, BBC program, and that's the data was stolen. Yes, after this, the BT's share prices went down. A lot of things happened. The trust clients. So we need to be think about when we'll make the decision about just only not the cost. We need to look around the legislation side and long-term effect. Set up the 8 principle. So only collect the information specific purpose. Does not use other purposes. Only collect the information what you need for the tax purposes are to keep the accurate and up to date and the safe, and process the information lawfully, allow subject access line with the data protection act. So Data Protection Act, GDPR, which is in 25th May 2018. You must have a legitimate reason for processing the data. Will cover the processing we undertake. In this will go through the consent should be subject access request. Do we know what is meant by subject access request? Anybody receive the call PPI? Do we have ever received PPI calls? Payment Protection Insurance, yes. So payment protection insurance, of course, we have a right to refund, but sometimes we don't know either you paid or not. So we can get SAR. What is SAR called? Subject access request. Subject access request. So if you pay £10, any organization, whoever hold the data about you, or you did the contract with any company, any organization, by paying £10, filling SAR, we can get medical record, we can get any other record from the bank, all the previous statement, even your conversation which happened with the bank, even you bought a mobile phone contract and they did the recording your contract, what they said, what you said, what term the contract was oral or even wasn't written. You have a right to get all the recordings as well by paying under the Data Protection Act 2018 and under 1998 as well. So that's by paying. This is £10 is a standard fees which is set by the government, and you have a right. Even you lost your document, and you can, if you gave your document to someone, you have a right to paying £10. As accountant, we can get all the paperwork, whatever holding accountant, by paying £10 as well. Yes, even free as well. Lot of even NHS, lot of files they are offering free. So it's not always we have to pay, but by law they can ask £10. So what if those companies not comply with the data protection? What will be happen? ICO says in Information Commission potentially fine. Yes, much greater than at the present, up to 4% of turnover. So think about turnover of Unilever. Think about the turnover of Tesco. 4% of the turnover they have to pay if they don't comply with. Up to 20 million can be, yes. And finally, it's happened regardless of the Brexit. So this is about we need to be follow still the Data Protection Act. What are the principles in lawful, fairness, and transparency as with the data protection? Yes. Purpose of limitations. Only collect the specific purpose. Or you're not asking who's your loved one, where they live, what their ages are. Yes. Which school they go, because you're accountant, we need identity. Yes, we need date of birth, we need proof of address where they live, so we need to sign a authority letter. Yes, that's the data really we required it. We need their bank statement to prepare the account. Not just rely what figure they are saying. Yes, lot of we rely on the figure what the client saying it. Yes, but we should rely on the bank and the invoices. Data minimization, only collect the data you need to be purpose. You are using it for VAT invoices. Accuracy or keep up to date. Yes, storage up to date bank statement. Storage limitation, don't keep it for longer than you need it. What is the data protection? 6 years. Do we know the tax document how long we need to keep? If you're submitting your tax return for the client, how long you keep the data?
6 years.
6 years and plus current year. total. We can say overall, you're right, 6 years plus we say current year as well. Huh? So normally it's 7 years. The year wasn't included then afterwards. Huh? So that's yes. So we can say overall 7 years. Okay, so integrity and confidentiality. Of course, you need to be think about your client file is loose, not locked, and ICO can visit your premises, and then it can be yes, your data is not. So need to be make sure other client is coming and their balance sheet is not being signed off. It's not on the public domain, and you put on the table, and somebody can copy in it and look around the figures and put it, and can get the financial incentive as well. So just we need to be very careful. Accountability, you must be able to prove that you are comply above. So all we need to do. Okay, next we okay, GDPR. Can I still process personal data? Do I need consent? All about the making sure the data processing and sharing done properly. Yes, legitimate data sharing. If we need to be always wider interest of the public. If your client give you the consent, you can't share outside third party without the consent of the client. Only you can share it the court or the by legal and the wider interest of the public you think is money laundering or something happen, then you can, otherwise we can't. So all we need to comply with the legal obligation. We need to protect the vital interest of the data subject of the person or their businesses as well, because the huge implications can be. Okay, if somebody call you from police and say, I'm calling from police station, can you share the data? Oh, we want, some information about the financial matters about this person, please. Yes. Can you share to? No. Why not? Is a police person is calling from the police station. Yes. So you can say, sorry, you can't share it. Yes. We need verified document. We need a written authority. We need a court. We can't really share even with police. Huh? When it's a wider interest to pursue it, then we can, under Data Protection Act, is allow us. Okay. Then next we're looking that's all about Data Protection Act, and it's apply under the Employment Act as well. It's apply all of the whatever the business we do, Data Protection Act, it will deal with the data. Then we have a next intellectual property rights. Your logo, your goodwill, you can protect, you can write it, you can your slogan, your values, your mission statement. Yes, it's your property right. Yes, so you can protect it. Protecting your intellectual property rights is essential to remain profitable. Our guide explain is it there. I pick, the why should I protect my intellectual. Yes, many of the things that can be protected under the intellectual property rights. You can register it, like your company is registered in the company house, your slogan is registered in the. Yes, so you can protect your business. Strong brand, yes, crucial for retaining. Like people are copying sometimes the accounting brand and they using setting up their own firms exactly the same. So you can likewise a good invention is often maybe you have a software like one of the company Clever Accountant for suppose. Yes, so their slogan and logo, so they need to think about eliminate your competitive advantage can be if we don't do it. Carried out intellectual property right audit. Yes, you must carried out the audit before you can pursue intellectual property right protection. So that identify your intellectual property rights, use your organization, you who currently own these. Yes, what right you have, what value is worth of, you can include it. Even that's the logo is. What do you think? Nike, how much is the worth of that logo? What do you think? How much will be? Is more than 90 million. Yes. So this is, if not registered, what will be happen? Anybody can put on the clothes and can sell. These are the Nike. Yes. So we need to be protect our in the law we have. So patent protection, we need to inventions are protected exclusively by the patents are granted set up period of time. Maybe you can give to somebody and they can use the logo yours for the certain period of time. Trademark protection concept and ideas we can protect as well, and which we need to be, because otherwise it can be huge loss for the business. You set up, you do research, and somebody copy it and do the business. Yes. Design right and register design and 3 dimension. Design right provide the automatic protection for the appearance of the 3 dimension of object. So the protection is limited. It can be registered the design, widen the degree of protection, and extend it cover 2 dimensional objective. Find, we can look around and we can register uh, in the company house as well, and separate organization. Any question, anyone? Okay. Copyrights, original work, yes. So automatically in UK, but not in US. Does not need to be applied. It's given all the original literacy, yes, architect or creation, that the result of the intellectual effort, skills, or the creative. So we need to be in the UK. We need to be. It's better to be registered because then you can claim it. So protecting your rights overseas as well. All this we need to be in UK. Yes, like the ACC, and somebody set up organization ACC in other part of the world, we need to be protected. Any question up to now, anyone? We all okay? Intellectual property right. And next we have employment law. Maybe you can't see properly this mind map through this, but I'll try my best. I'll zoom in. So what's come under employment laws? Health and Safety Act. Anyone knows which year was Health and Safety Act? 1974. Whose responsibility to provide? Sorry, it's gone. Okay, Health and Safety Act 1974 under the employment laws, which we'll go through in a minute. Okay, so Health and Safety Act 1974 is the responsibility, employer and employees both. Is everyone responsibility, care about their own action. That's also, and the employer should provide the safe environment under the Employment Act, that can be charged. Equal pay, that's a huge discussion going on. Women is getting less, the gender pay gap huge. That's even we need to publish. That's equal pay, equal, if we have an equal role and responsibility. That's a huge discussion area. Trade union and Regulation Act, yes, anybody can join the trade union and the employer not penalize them. Those are registered with the trade union. Employment Right Act, yes, employer and employment rights, and the responsibilities all being discussed in this act. National minimum wage. Do we know national minimum wage? How much is it? Do we know national minimum wage? Is it £8? Is it £10? How much is it? And as an accountant, we should be aware of, because sometimes, it can be client a question of integrity. It's a client not paying. £8.75. Yes, we can register the document. We can verify. I think so. You asked the question. I'm just checking now. Okay, £8.75. Yes, it's based on the age, and we can look around other apprenticeship routes and various others. Then we have a maternity and paternity leaves. All we need to look around is a law there, 19, and we have a pension act. We should provide the pension becoming compulsory in the employer and employees contribution. Thus we need to Equality Act. So lot of other legislation like Discrimination Act and like equally, the Pay Act and Race and Religion Act, everything is being merged into the Equality Act 2010. So where we can get the full information about these acts, go on the website gov.uk and we can get all the information. So we have a legislation about redundant. If somebody we were going to make redundant agency worker relationship Yes, that's 2001. That's also act. All these act is come under employment, and we should follow these all the legislation. And as accountant, we have to well aware of, because of course when you're recruiting people, HR planner are operate with the context of the large of legislation, fair recruitment and selection process, unlawful discrimination. We can't discriminate people. We're not going to provide the job or not shortlist them based on their name, based on their color, based on their religious beliefs, based on yes, LGBT even, yes. So that's all, we're not supposed to discriminate. So sex, including the pregnancy or the maternities or the marital status, gender reassignment, sexual orientation. So we can't really discriminate all on the basis of these. But unfortunately, it's not really 100%. It's very difficult to prove it's been happen or not. Basis of discrimination, it can be direct discrimination, treating somebody less favorable on the ground of their sex, race, and so on. Indirect, you setting the rules or the policy, applying apparently the ground general rules, which in the practice disadvantage one sex or the race. Can be that indirectly you discriminate, harassment, violating someone's dignity, or creating in creating an hostile and degrading, humiliating, or offensive environment. Yes, like abusive, like maybe religious beliefs or victimization as well. These all can be raised to the Discrimination Act, and that can be goes into the, and that's really happen in a lot of businesses, these issues, and we need to be well aware of, because otherwise our business can be suffer lot of losses as well. We have as we discuss Work and Safety Act, we need to be make sure we provide the information we registered in the Information Commission. If we're dealing family friendly laws, maternity rights, yes, adoption right, parental leaves, and all, these are the legislation, and we must need to be followed, like the right of statutory maternity leave up to 50 weeks, statutory maternity pay up to 39 weeks. That's why some employer really, maybe they are breaking the Discrimination Act and due to, but they can't if someone, and that case can even goes to employment tribunal. So we need to be well aware of. So that's 52 weeks. And adoption right. So employees can take total up to 13-week parental leave. So that's, we have the legislation. Okay, paternity leave and the pay. A male, employees can be statutory and paternity leave up to 2 weeks, are the employees with the contract of employment. These, please, these legislation carry on changing. So it's better to be concerned on gov.uk. Yes, emergency leave, like, anyone death in the family, right to request, flexible working hours if the employer is working in the shift pattern, and the employer should provide, to employees if on the basis of the request, or make the necessary adjustment if we need to. Leaving the organization, yes, employer has the right to leave. Employees have the right to leave the organization. Fair and unfair reason for dismissals, we have a law for it, and we need to be make sure. If we are going to make people redundant, do we know the redundancy laws? How much salary we need to pay if we are going to make redundant someone? Anyone knows what can be redundant pay? Anyone ever been redundant from any organization? Yes, do we know what will be redundant? 3 months salaries advance. No, that can be voluntary, but 1 week based on every year of service, every year of employment. If you was employed 10 years, so you should get 10 week salary, plus then times by age factor. If you're 40 plus, it times by 3. So if your salary was, let's say, £500 per week, 500 times 10, 5,000 times 3. So you get total 15,000. This 3, the factor is based on your age bracket. It can be 2, it can be 4. If you're a 50 plus, you have a less chances to get the jobs quicker. So that's why is if you're making the redundant, so that's why is a huge. This is the compulsory, but then can be why you making me redundant and why not other employees. Then it discrimination law will be applied. So that's why employer give the voluntary higher than that. Maybe your compulsory is 15,000 and employer ask you, if you take the voluntary, will pay you 30,000 redundant money. Yes. So that can be basis of this. So that's you need to be aware of. Okay, this is a free from the tax up to £25,000. So if you're making redundant up to 25,000, no tax on it. So you can further consult in gov.uk. Yes, how much remaining you need to pay the tax on it. Huh? Okay, so guys, that's the law we need to be aware of. Then we have a code of employment or conduct, ACS code, which is advisory and arbitration services. ACS code of the contact, those we need to be as a employment under the employment law. Employer and employee should be act consistently. If we need to be, employers should be carried out necessary investigation to establish the fact, inform, put their case, accomplish, and that case can be go. Basically this the organization help to resolve any conflict we have, and the case can be, and we can complain and we can take the case. So ACS codes is raise and deal with the issues promptly, act consistently, and carried out any necessary investigation. Need to be right of appeal. So that's all come. Yes, disciplinary actions can be established. The fact why meeting need to be arranged, those happen between or not other compliance. Yes, the chance. Ideally, three-way written notice, give full details, includes a copy of evidence. So if we are going to dismiss someone from the job, right to be accomplished, a fellow workers, minutes, and the union reps can be involved. So we need to be look around the meetings. Yes, review your evidence can be, and first, second meetings even. Yes, confidential rooms are all under the employment laws. We need to be follow these steps. So if we make the secret recording, is the disciplinary action warranted? Yes, reasonable sanction. Yes, confirm and writing. Yes, state the reason and a improvement expected. Word is carefully and set the time for the reviewer. If fail to improve and remain current for the limited time, the right of appeal as well. So we can look around. Gross misconduct. Yes, we have a legislation we have to follow as well. I'm not going word by word. You are working. So appeal process can be, appeal against can be, disciplinary actions in the organization. Thus we need to be follow grievances procedures we need to be established in our organization. We have a clear policies on it, and we have a department where we can recommendation and action, grievances, suspend, phase, investigation, misconduct. That can be dignity and responsibility. Everyone need to be quality in the rule. That need to be develop the reports, responsibility as the employer and employees. All if you have a responsibility to ensure the employee understand what is happen. So it's a employer responsibility to provide the staff handbook. Yes, where clearly role, responsibility, code of conduct, everything is written. If not, that can be even. Okay, so implies independent contractor. Even the test of control you heard about now is Uber lost the case. Now the Uber implies, taxi implies, will be considered as implied. So lot of accounting treatment will be different. So we need to be very careful if you're dealing with those clients as well. Yes. So that's implied term, which is implied the duty of implies and duty of implier. Then we have express term as well, which we can express. So implied by law and express we can written things as well. So all we need to be, we have to follow all these legislation. Employment Act 2002, unfair dismissal can or can't, redundancy pays, all we need to be follow. Then we have a journal article if you want to read or you want to reference in your assignment. It's good to be rediscovering the process, valuing in the employee grievances procedures. Those are organization place and well have protected in the code of conduct and the giving student handbook, staff handbook as well. So employment protection legislation and SME, small medium enterprise performance. So it's affect their performance. I copy the link. I'm not really playing the quiz for you, but it's good to be. You can go through yourself how much you know and develop understanding quiz. It's quite good to copy the link, and please do so. And then I have copied the links here. Background reading, employment laws, and other legislation. So please good to be go through these links and to develop further your understanding in this area, because if you're a member in business or you're employed by someone else, all both ways we need to be well aware of these legislations. Okay, that's all today. Anybody any question, please? So today lesson we discuss about GDPR. Sorry, anybody any question?
No.
No question. Okay, in the next lesson, we guys will go through our assignment discussion will be, and today lesson we learn about these legislation regarding these employment or how these laws can be impact if we don't follow it. That's all today, and thanks for listening and attending. Hope so all speak you during our next lesson, which will be about assignment discussion. Thank you. Bye bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, thank you. Anybody any question? If you have, please you can drop the email and I'll get back to you. Yes.